I am Sarah Piper. I am here on behalf of Invisible Partners, who are a talent advisory and consultancy business. And I am so excited to be joined by Karen and Ger from Global Review. Global Review are a new client to us, and we're excited to be taking some really cool roles to market. And in an attempt to make sure that we're representing the organisation well and authentically and giving the right window into the team, I have persuaded Karen and Ger to let me interview them, so candidates looking at the organisation can get that insight. So I will stop talking, which I like to do a bit too much, and hand over the microphone to Karen. Karen, can you introduce yourself, please? Tell us what your role is and a little bit about you.
My name's Karen Bainon, and I am a Principal Client Advisor at Global Reviews. I've been with Global Reviews for well over 10 years. What's my main role? It's basically to ensure that our clients are getting the value out of the research that we capture. And there's lots of different ways we do that, but essentially it's about understanding their needs and making sure that we're drawing the right information to light that's most use to them.
It's 9:30 Melbourne time right now, but it's 10:30 in your part of the world. Tell us where you are and who you are.
So I'm currently in Ireland at the moment in our European headquarters, which is based in Cork in Ireland, and there's a great story behind that some other day. But so my name is Ger Farrell. I'm the CEO of Global Reviews, and so straight away you've obviously seen already that we're an international business. So with Karen based in Melbourne and me up here in Ireland. What I do in Global Reviews in a nutshell is firstly where we're going. So in terms of the vision and the strategy and leading from the front. In terms of then internally, key thing is to support the staff, and the culture and the values that we have within the business are very important to us, and making sure that everybody has what they need in order to do their roles and to do them well. Product is very, very dear to my heart, and innovation is a huge part of what we do and who we are. And so when I talk about where we're going in terms of vision, innovation is a key part of that. And I think as we go through the conversation, we'll start to talk a little bit more about, some of those things that we have been doing more recently, which is very exciting. So we specialize in specific types of industries. That doesn't mean that we close the door to an industry that we wouldn't service regularly, but we would consider that more bespoke work because we do syndicated research, regular research in specific industries on an ongoing basis. So those industries are energy, insurance, higher learning, banking, so financial services, superannuation in Australia, pensions in the UK, sports betting. And so essentially in that e-commerce space where there is the digital marketing component of attracting somebody to your digital assets, so your website, and then the actual fulfillment, the quote journey and fulfillment when you're on the website. And then we also look at the digital maturity of the member environment. So whether it be in the app or whether it be in the member services area, which is so critical right now because of what's happened to the world in the last 12 months. And so the types of clients then that we're working with in Australia, the very well-known brands that we can call clients, Australian Super, Rest, QSuper, Cbus, lots of superannuation clients. On the insurance side, RACQ, RAA, Allianz, a lot of very well-known household brands. On the banking side, the likes of NAB, with clients in the UK in banking, Nationwide with clients in Canada in banking, TD Bank. And then we work with a lot of energy companies, so EDF in the UK, Bord Gáis, Energia, SSE, Energy Australia in Australia, Origin, Momentum. So we work with a lot of household brands, very well-known brands, but we also work with smaller brands too. So one that which is really important because it's exciting the types of things that they're doing and how quickly they can move and how agile they are. And which we need to be agile as well to help to work at the same pace. So an example of someone like that would be Elevate Super, who would be a very, very new superannuation brand that's come out of a company called Atlas Trend, who are doing some really interesting things around white labeling superannuation into large multiples like Coles or Woolworths and things like that. So the industries are probably quite defined. It's anything within that end-to-end journey in terms of digital experience. And I suppose what's really important to say is what we believe in as an organization. So we believe that intelligence enables advantage. And so out of that, then our solutions, our products essentially provide a vehicle for our client advisors like Karen to unlock the insights out of those vehicles and to deliver them to the client. So we work very, very closely with our clients, and we have very good relationships with them.
It's a hard one to describe, isn't it? Because the first thing, we're all so different, you know, it's all variable, I guess. We've got some people who just to, you know, who are very fun and, you know, jokers and that sort of thing. And then we've got others that are, you know, busy, and everything in between. So I guess the first thing is it's kind of the size of it, I guess. We're around 8 people. So just short of 10 in the office when the new starters begin. And it's very different. You never know what you're going to get, I guess, with me, in a really good way. So what I mean by that is because of the nature of what we do, we are servicing clients. So there's people coming in and out, you know, often. What I love is when anyone has been out to see a client, whether it's our development team trying to explain what we do and get them on board, or whether it's a client advisor like ourselves that have gone and delivered a session. Everyone's really excited when you get back and on board. And actually before that, when you leave, everyone's saying, good luck, hope it goes well, you know, that great kind of camaraderie. Beautiful. So I love that. That's the best thing about it. And it just happens naturally. It's just this really lovely thing. And so then, of course, when we come back, we have our celebrations, we have our, you know, chat and wind down about how it went. So that's definitely something that's variable, because the other times we're all kind of busy bees, just, you know, doing our thing. Nothing's really official. So we kind of collaborate all the time, I guess. So it's this kind of bubbling little hub of busyness, kind of everyone doing their thing. But then all of a sudden it'll change and everyone will be talking and collaborating. So it's very, and then there's of course official, like every business, you know, it's official meetings and such. So that's it. I think the other thing, it's difficult with COVID. I've almost forgotten. we've been working remotely.
Of course, I'm testing you here.
But and the other thing I guess I would throw in the mix is I've had a flexible arrangement, so I wasn't in every day. So again, it was highlighted to me again, just the friendliness. I guess when you go in, it's really nice to see your colleagues and just have that warmth and friendliness when you go. So and hence the change too. You know who's going to be in today.
Incredibly collaborative is the answer. So we've recently, before we were using Slack, but now we've moved to Teams. So we use a squad model process for everything that we do. So we're agile. We have 4 departments in the organization: operations, product, client advisory, and commercial. And we all work together. So what happens is that you have an individual project running, and as the project goes through its life cycle, different people from different departments will move into that squad depending on what it is that's being done. But ultimately what it means though is that the project will generally be touched by nearly every hand in the organization to some level or some extent, whether it be the commercial director sharing ideas with some of the other commercial directors to just bounce and get ideas back, but our product team work very, very collaboratively.
The great thing about this role is you're involved in the project right from the beginning, sometimes even pre-sales, all the way through to delivery, and then the post-delivery retrospective that we run. So it depends on where the project is at in terms of what your week looks like, but generally you might have a couple of projects going at the same time, so they kind of weave in and out of each other. So I'll take it like that week so I can cover more off. So you might start off with an introduction to a client, and we have what's called a briefing meeting, and we just share with them some high-level results. Prior to that meeting, you've gone in, had a look at the results from our data. So everything is delivered in a report fashion, kind of like charts, Excel, those sorts of things, what you're looking at. And you might have a look and see what's happening, and then make some recommendations of where they might want to focus their sessions that we do. So the key thing that we do, I'm jumping around all over the place, the key thing that the way we deliver to our clients is in interactive workshop presentation sessions. So that's kind of the end point of a journey. And so leading up to that, we're trying to get the most relevance that we can. So that always generally will form part of a week. Prior to that, if you've got a piece of work that's starting off, you may well be talking to the product team, our product team, about the study, about the client needs. What do they want to uncover from this research, feeding back to them about what could be built into the study, them talking to us about what's possible, that sort of collaboration going on. So that's kind of pre-study. If you're in the middle, you've done the brief, you know what the project is, you'll be collaborating with some other members of the CA team, just trying to figure out, you know, which direction will I go in? Have you got any work that we've looked at in recent times about this, that sort of thing? Also some people that build the presentations as well. We'll be talking with them. And then a lot of the time is actually just in the data, looking around for ideas, building the story, building the case to all of the needs that we've understood in the lead up. And then at the moment, we're delivering in PowerPoint. That's what we build our sessions in. So there's a lot of work in PowerPoint to be done in terms of turning our data into those insights. So we work very hard to do that. And it's because, as I talked about earlier in the call, it's because we're so curious, we just want to keep going. You know, it's not just about showing the chart of results and moving on. It's about the why. So that is what we're uncovering. That why is the art and the science of this job.
You're being asked to be at the top of your game, and you've got amazing tools to do it, and you've got an amazing team behind you, and you're working with the creme de la creme of brands and technically should be some of the leading people in terms of digital marketing, digital experience designers and deliverers in Australia and in other countries around the world. So we go in to tell them, you know, how things can be improved. And these people are very serious about their jobs. And so when we go in to talk about optimization and development and innovation, it has to be evidence-led. It can't be based on opinion, because these people are going to blow us out of the water if we're going in on the basis of opinion. So everything is the crafting of that story all on the basis of the evidence. And when the client is receptive to the insights, the recommendations and the changes, and the client makes the changes on the basis of the recommendations, and you see uplift, it's one of the best feelings that you're ever going to get, because everybody feels vindicated, because this is a great process. So I would add that, because I think that feeling is very important for this particular role.
The thing that I love about this role in particular, not just being not on client side, is just the buzz that, just to pick up on that point that Ger was talking about, the real buzz that you get. So you get a voice, you're an external, so you know you're able to avoid all the politics and all of the internal BAU, you know, all that stuff, and you can just focus on the insight, which is great. You know, you can really focus on what you truly believe, with the evidence behind it, of course, will make a difference. And I think that is a great benefit to being on this side. The diversity, the constant change, whether it's the product that you're delivering or the clients that you're working with, it keeps things so dynamic and interesting. And not only are you top of your game, you're continuing to grow, I think, in this environment, because you're learning so much. So, you know, you just learned. And in this particular role, it's, you know, the internet is your arena, because we're looking for best practice. And that could be anywhere. So we start with evidence, and we have a whole suite of evidence that we work with, but then we also are looking and hunting around for best practice in general as well. So that's really fun.
I don't think that we are probably the quintessential definition of an agency or consultancy in that sense. And I think that the data and the evidence is the great leveler. And because that, you know, takes away a lot of the politics when it comes to building business cases. So essentially, a lot of the time what we're doing is we're helping build business cases for change, which is based on evidence. So one of the things, so having that data and being able to go to the data is critical, and it's also a great salve, because it means that you know, once it's indisputable, as long as it's, you know, it's only down to interpretation of the data set essentially.
Thank you so much. The passion is very much, it's really evident from both of you, and I think that's really important for people that are considering you as an organisation to hear, because that's why people are going to dive into this process. So thank you so much for giving me your time and letting me grill you. Thanks so much.
Sarah.
Great. Thanks, Sarah. Bye.